Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to Fantasy Premier League with FPL Wizard. I hope you all fine. I hope you all safe. I hope you all had a great game week. Welcome to the live stream, my friends. Caleb, Jeetaria, Faiz, Shopanen. I welcome you all, and I hope you all had a great game week 9. We are here to discuss my summary of all the games. I tend to watch all the games, even if I cannot watch the entire match. I try to watch the highlights, and I give you a summary of the entire week for all of you who haven't been able to watch the game, or even if you did watch the games. It's my insight about the games. So before I take your comments, before I answer your questions, I'll just go straight into my summary, and I'll give you my insights about all the games, and then I'll come back to the chat and take all your questions. So here goes, my friends. The first game was between Newcastle and Chelsea. It was as expected. I mean, Chelsea won the game, but not like the result that we expected, not the scorers that we expected. I mean, Hakim Ziyech was totally anonymous in the game. I mean, he didn't have a good game. Unfortunately, I thought Rhys James and N'Golo Kante just didn't want to pass to him. I mean, he was in a couple of great positions. Once he was through on goal with Timo Werner, just had to make that pass across the defender. He couldn't. I mean, Hakim Ziyech could have had some decent points. Timo Werner again looked sharp, but wasn't too involved. I just think that against teams who play with a low defensive block, I just don't think Timo Werner is that effective. Hakim Ziyech might be, but wasn't in this game. From Newcastle, Wilson didn't start. I mean, there's not many assets that I was really interested in from Newcastle. From Chelsea, I think the defenders did really well. Rhys James is starting for the last, I think, 4 game weeks now. Chilwell, of course, a great asset. Zuma had a great chance from a header. He missed it. Moving on, I mean, this was the surprise result of the week actually. Aston Villa, they lost to Brighton at home. I mean, Brighton, how well did they play? Although they had Tariq Lamptey sent off in the end, but even Tariq Lamptey had a couple of great through balls, and he could have had an assist on another day, but he was sent off due to 2 yellow cards. I think the bad thing for Aston Villa in this game was they had Ross Barkley sent off really with a hamstring injury. He was taken off, so I think that disturbed the balance of the team. Grealish had to play in the center rather than on the left where he usually tends to play, and he drifts inside, so I think it hampered their attacking capabilities. But I still feel that Ollie Watkins, if he had finished better, Grealish would have had 2 assists. He really put it on a plate for him, but Ollie Watkins wasn't on the game that day. Other than that, nobody from Aston Villa really impressed me too much. I think Grealish was again amazing in that game. From Brighton, Solly March scored a goal, and assisted by Pascal Gross. I mean, Mope has so many good chances in every game to score. It just doesn't come through for him. That's the reason I don't like him as a fantasy asset. He's so frustrating to own. Other than that, who else impressed me from that game? Lallana was fine. I mean, Solly March had a really solid game. Tariq Lamptey was good. Unfortunately, he got sent off. So, but I think Aston Villa will bounce back. They have really good fixtures coming up, so I think they're gonna do fine. Spurs versus Manchester City was a great game to watch. It was, like a possession football versus just counter-attacking, sitting back and defending. But Spurs played really well, and it helped that Son scored a really early goal to enable them to defend. And Manchester City was coming on them, and then they again scored on the counter-attack. Harry Kane providing a through ball to Lo Celso, and he scored a brilliant goal. Harry Kane could have had another goal, but he was offside from a Son pass. I think Spurs are in good form. Even if you have both Kane and Son just like I do, I wouldn't say selling both should be your concern right now. Maybe one, depending on if you don't have a captain option next week. But I wouldn't sell both of them the way Spurs are playing. From Manchester City, Kevin De Bruyne was again impressive. Sterling didn't start the game, and that was a surprise, because he was fit. If he was fit enough to be on the bench, I'm not sure why Why Sterling didn't start is strange, but anyways, um, yeah, from Manchester City, I think Cancelo again was fine for them. The only concern with Cancelo is with Zinchenko being back and with Mendy coming back, is he going to start all the games? I'm not so sure. If you want a nailed-on defender, I think the other three, Kyle Walker, Laporte, and Ruben Diaz, these are the nailed defenders from that team. Joao Cancelo is more exciting to own, but I'm not sure if he's nailed on. He might be nailed on for the next couple of game weeks though, so if you want to take a short-term punt, go for it. From Spurs, I think Reguilon is a good defensive asset. I think their keeper Hugo Lloris can be one as well. He made really decent saves and he got, I think, all 3 bonus points if I'm not wrong. So from Spurs, I think Harry Kane, Heung-min Son are the ones that we should be looking at. Other than that, I don't want to own any of the outfield players. Maybe Reguilon or Lloris. Manchester United versus West Brom. Bruno Fernandes could have had a monster haul in this game, my friends. Unfortunately, for bad finishing by Rashford and Martial, he created 3 really, really good chances. There was like just begging to be put off, but they didn't. And in the end, Bruno Fernandes did what he does best. He got a penalty and he took a penalty and he scored in the end. He had to retake it and all those things. It was saved by Johnston, but he was off his line and then he took it again and he scored. West Brom impressed me a lot. I think West Brom have been playing really well, and I really wish they had a better goal scorer or a better striker. I don't think they would be in this position, but unfortunately they don't. So, but I honestly don't feel that West Brom are the team that we should be targeting. I think in midfield, in defense, they are much, much better than Fulham and other relegation strugglers, I think Fulham are a really bad team. West Brom are not. Fulham versus Everton. What can you say about this game? Everton got off to a really quick start. Calvert-Lewin scored a goal. Richarlison supposedly assisted him, but then the ball hit a defender and Richarlison didn't get the assist. After that, Dean got 2 assists in this game. He was pretty impressive. James Rodriguez again assisting the assisters, so he was providing second assists. Didn't get too much from that game anyway. Dean got 2 assists from Fulham. Cordova Reed, I think he scored the first goal, and Mitrovic, who was the second one? I think Ruben Loftus-Cheek. It was I'm sorry if I, yeah, Ruben Loftus-Cheek scored the second goal. So to be honest with you, it was kind of a very scratchy game from Everton. They were not defensively that solid as we expect them to be with such good teams, such good midfield. Fulham exploited them time and time again, and Everton should have conceded. But again, Fulham don't have penalty takers, guys. First they tried Mitrovic, he didn't work. Then they tried Aldemola Lookman, he failed, and then they tried Cavaliero. It just seems that Everton are just built to miss penalties. Anyways, guys, if any team is playing against Fulham, they have an atrocious defense and we should target them. Sheffield versus West Ham was as expected, a very cagey game, midfield battles. Sheffield had a glorious chance to score for McBurney, but he hit it into the crossbar from a brilliant through ball by Brewster. West Ham, they scored a goal. Pablo Fornals, I think, assisted Ale, and they won the game. They kept a clean sheet. I think West Ham are looking really solid now. The fixture swing for West Ham, and a couple of their players are really, really, interesting to own. Kufal, Cresswell. If you can't afford even Kufal, you can go for somebody like Balbuena. He's 4.4 and starting all the games. Arthur Masuaku again. Fabianski, I think he's a decent keeper to own at this moment in time if you're looking for a keeper. Ole, I wouldn't own because I think when Antonio is back, I'm not so sure if he's going to be starting. Jared Bowen, Pablo Fornals, all these guys, but in my opinion, their defenders or their strikers are the one to go for. Leeds versus Arsenal was a very interesting game to watch for me, being an Arsenal fan. Leeds should have won that game comfortably. Bamford had loads of chances to score, and Nicolas Pepe, being absolutely stupid with that headbutt, and he got sent off, and Arsenal were under the cosh for a very long time. But Arsenal survived. Clean sheet for Bellerin, all three bonus points as well. As I've been saying, guys, Bellerin is a very interesting asset this season. Arsenal are not the same team, and if you want to go for an Arsenal defender, you can go for Bellerin. From Leeds, don't look past Bamford, guys. Bamford is the one to own. Yes, Dallas and Ailing, maybe Matthias Click, but if I was to own one Leeds player, I think it would be Bamford. Liverpool versus Leicester, guys, was an amazing game to watch. It was end to end. I mean, we all expected Liverpool to struggle a little, but my word, even with so many injuries and so many players out, how good are Liverpool? Diogo Jota totally killed the game. It was amazing the way he played. I mean, it was so amazing the way Liverpool dominated the game. And Sadio Mane could have had 2 goals, but unfortunately for him, the keeper and the defenders were on top form, and they made blocks, heroic saves. Diogo Jota scored a goal. Roberto Firmino, guys, he tried his level best to break the goalposts, to break the crossbar. In the end, he missed the goalpost by 1 meter, and he actually scored the goal. Do you know he was actually going for the post and he missed the post? He didn't score the goal, he missed the post. And that's the truth. But anyways, guys, Roberto Firmino scored the goal, and it was all good for Liverpool. Robertson got 12 points in this game. So, if anybody owns Trent Alexander-Arnold and is looking for a replacement, Liverpool have great fixtures. Robertson is the way to go if you want a like-for-like replacement. Burnley versus Crystal Palace, the unfortunate game for the owners of Wilfried Zaha, because nothing was said in the press conference, but later on it was confirmed that Zaha was self-isolating due to COVID situation. So it was a very early disadvantage for Crystal Palace. They had a couple of chances, nothing brilliant against Burnley. It's just a matter of keeping a clean sheet. Chris Wood scored a goal early in the game, and then they were just defending. Nick Pope made a really decent string of saves in that game to keep that clean sheet. I had Charlie Taylor in this game, got 2 bonus points as well, and Nick Pope was fantastic. But would I suggest owning Nick Pope now? He's too expensive for me, but one of their defenders, why not? With Ben Mee and Tarkowski in the center of the defense, I think they're going to keep more clean sheets as compared to last season. From Crystal Palace, I'm just not interested in too many assets. But Batshuayi started that game, was not too good. I mean, Jordan Ayew interests me, but in the same category, you've got Bamford, you've got Ollie Watkins, and who would own Jordan Ayew over them? I wouldn't at all. So nothing much to discuss there. Maybe Chris Wood if you want, but for me, there are better options. Wolves versus Southampton. This was a very, very fun game for me to watch, and the last game of the week. I mean, Southampton were brave. They went there, they played their football, they were pressing. Wolves had some decent chances, and amazing saves by Alex McCarthy. He was in top form, Alex McCarthy, and he even got 7 points even after they conceded a goal. So that's how good McCarthy was. But Southampton played well. I mean, Theo Walcott should have had a hat-trick in that game, and Che Adams should have had a couple of assists. But in the end, Che Adams got 1 assist, and he got 2 bonus points as well. So 7 points against Wolves for Che Adams. Ever since Danny Ings has been injured, Che Adams has never blanked even in a single game. So I'm a happy owner of Che Adams, and I think from Southampton, Che Adams is a very good asset, but I'm not sure if their fixtures are the best, but I think he's still a decent own, Che Adams. Kyle Walker-Peters, Alex McCarthy is good. I mean, I was really impressed by Armstrong. Before the start of the season, we all wanted to own him, but then he got injured and none of us got him. But I was very impressed by his performance. Wolves, again, Raul Jimenez, he struck the post, and from the rebound, Pedro Neto scored the goal. It was a lucky goal for Wolves because they did not look like scoring in the second half. But Jimenez being Jimenez, he actually managed to create something and got a point for Wolves. If I had Wolves assets in this moment of time, especially Jimenez, I would be looking to sell, because I feel that at 8 or over 8 million, I think you can get much better value by getting somebody like Bamford or Ollie Watkins and investing that money elsewhere. If you want to upgrade, you can go for somebody like Jamie Vardy, whose next 3 fixtures are absolutely plum. So that was about Wolves. If you own Kilman, possibly I would look to keep him. If you own Roman Saiz, I would definitely sell him. If you own Semedo, possibly keep him. Other than that, I'm not sure who would you own from Wolves. Maybe Adama Traore sell. I sold Podence last week, and I still feel that was the right decision. But he played 90 minutes, guys. Ever since for the first time I didn't own him, he played 90 minutes. Whenever I was owning him, he played 57, 60 minutes at most. So maybe that was encouraging for the owners. So that was a brief summary of the game week, guys. I hope I made everything clear from what I saw in the eye test. If I missed anything, I apologize, and I'll come back and read your comments. But before that, let me have a drink of water. Hello, everyone. So I'm back. Yep. So let me read the comments. Khaleesi says, hey. Caleb says, Barclay was in my team. Unfortunate, my friend. Yesh says, got 58 points with wrong captain Rashford. 58 was decent, my friend. Unfortunately for Rashford, he had a couple of great chances. He blanked. Rajadang says, hey, welcome. Caleb says, Penendez saves the day. Right. I'm so happy I own Bruno Fernandes. Looked amazing in that game. Anas says, should I keep Zaha or bring in Grealish? Yeah, that's a good question. We're gonna discuss that, my friend. Saleh says, you don't do UCL fantasy, bro. I actually play UCL fantasy, my friend. I just don't make videos about it. And if this channel grows big and I have I can take out more time for this channel, I'd possibly do it, my friend. I'll talk about football all day long if I could. Unfortunately, I have a day job and stuff, so I just can't devote enough time to the channel, my friend. Otherwise, I would do it. Shopnan says, switch Kane to Vardy. Yeah, that's very interesting, Shopnan. We're gonna talk about that. Jitara says, hey man, do you think Sterling will bring some points in the near future? I think he could, Jitaria. I was very surprised. If he was fit, why didn't he start against Spurs? And even if, alright, Pep didn't want to start him, but at halftime it was obvious that something needed to change, but Pep waited until the 74th minute to bring him on. I'm just very, very surprised by Pep's decision. It's more like he was just so cold even after the loss. Generally, he's very angry, very animated. He just signed a new contract, Pep Guardiola, but he just didn't look too encouraged, and I don't know what's going on there. Devendra says, scored 63 whiz, but the bench scored 12, but only if I trusted them to start. Devendra, it happens sometimes. I mean, I had Ailing on my bench as well. Sometimes you just can't guess with with the bench players. Jitara says Werner replacement. Fai says you're watching Ren versus Chelsea. I mean, I'm not watching the game, of course. I'm streaming, but I was looking at the score. Callum Hudson-Odoi scored a goal, and I think he was assisted by Mason Mount, from what I can see. And that's all there is to with that game. All I can tell you is that Werner started the game, and who else is playing? Tammy Abraham is playing, Mason Mount, Jorginho, Kovacic. So Ben Chilwell is playing the game, guys, but Reece James is rested, so that might be a good news for the owners. And who else is rested? Hakim Ziyech is rested, so that might be also a good news for the owners. But Timo Werner is playing, and he's not having a good game because his rating on SofaScore, it shows that he's 6.2. So not having a good game, Timo Werner, right now. Okay, so Smelly Web says, great summary. I'm glad you liked it, Smelly Web. Mike says, hello Wizard, I have Sterling. Should I get rid of him? And if I do, who should be the replacement? I already have Fernandes and Salah. To be honest with you, my friend, if I had Sterling, I would keep him. I would be tempted to keep him because I think Sterling is a really good option for the coming weeks. Look at their fixtures, and I don't think he's not going to start those games. In my opinion, I think Sterling will start the majority of their games now they lost. Chopanen says, what is your overall rank? That's a very good question. I have to check. I think it was something around... what should be my overall rank, guys? Hang on. Sometimes I just miss these things. My overall rank is around 500k now, Chopin, so slowly getting better. Not the best, but I'm so happy where I am at. So I think it is a very good position to push on with my wildcard in my back pocket, and I think my team is really set up well for the upcoming game weeks. I'm pretty happy with my overall rank. Vice says Hamas to Jota, Walker Peters to Castan. To be honest with you, I'd wait on Hamas to Jota and even Walker Peters to Castan, because I think Castan had a tweak in his hamstring before the Liverpool game, and we're not sure if Castan is going to play the next game. Don't make early transfers, especially when Champions League games are on, guys. There could be injuries, there could be suspensions, there could be COVID situations. So hold your transfers right till the end. In my opinion, Faiz, I wouldn't make those transfers this week. Cole says Zaha didn't play, but I had Konsa on the bench, so lucky. That's awesome, Cole. That's good. I wish we all had a player. I mean, I wish I had a player who didn't play, and I wish Ailing came in for somebody. 6 points on the bench, but sometimes these things happen. This is a game, right? Namrit says I don't have Robertson. Should I get him instead of Telles and sacrificing either Ziyech or Grealish for the money? I don't think so, Namrit. I think Ziyech and Grealish both are fantastic options. And Telles is a very good option as well, so why would you want to get rid of Telles? I mean, Manchester United have great fixtures, so in my opinion, keep him. Gavin's 2 impression says hi. Hello, Gav. Welcome. Anna says, should I keep Son with the difficult fixtures or switch him for the other options with better fixtures? Already switched Kane for Vardy. I mean, in my opinion, Anas, keeping one Spurs player is not the worst idea. I mean, they're doing so well. Son scored against Chelsea. Against Manchester City, there is no reason why he can't score against Chelsea as well. And I think at 9 million or around, I think he's one of the best value for money players. His explosive potential is fantastic. So in my opinion, if you have already sold Kane for Vardy, I would be tempted to keep Son. Nihal says, what are your thoughts on Southampton defense against United? Nihal, in my opinion, I think they will not keep a clean sheet versus United. So if you have other options on your bench, I would possibly play them, but you never know with with Kyle Walker-Peters, he might get an assist or anything, but a clean sheet looks unlikely, especially with Bruno Fernandes playing so fantastic away from home. The clean sheet looks just unlikely in my opinion. Raja says, Castan, what's your opinion? I have a great opinion about Castan, and I wish I could bring him in. The problem is he tweaked his hamstring right before the Liverpool game, and that's the reason he didn't play. So we have to wait and watch for the news, and since Leicester are playing in the Europa League, we might have some news, so let's wait and watch what happens there. If Castan is fit, I think for the next 3 fixtures, Castan could be a great option. Great option. Suleiman says, when are hits like -4 applied? Is this after the game week or when? Yeah, of course. I mean, when you take a hit, when after the game week your total points are calculated, 4 points are deducted from your game week total, my friend. So yeah. Caleb says, question of the stream, how to bring Salah and Vardy? That's my dilemma, guys. Unfortunately, it was not actually unfortunate, but I sold Salah for Bruno Fernandes, and I just want Salah back in my team because he loves playing against Brighton. I looked into my magic ball, and it tells me that Salah has a great record against Brighton. Alright, I'll tell you excuse me, guys. So I'll tell you exactly what Salah does against Brighton. In how many matches, how many goals does he have? So magic ball, show me what is Salah's record against Brighton in the Premier League. So fellas, let me tell you, Salah has played 6 games against Brighton, and in those 6 games, he has 5 goals and 3 assists. I mean, that's a fantastic record. And that's the reason I want to have Salah back in my team. 5 goals and 3 assists in 6 appearances. That's just too much. So, it's crazy, isn't it? That's the reason I want Salah. For Vardy, I guess it's so easy, guys. Just if you have Kane and you wanna take out Kane for 3 game weeks because his fixtures are not the best. The problem is Kane, Kane has a really good record against Arsenal, and he always almost scores against Arsenal as well. And that's my problem with getting rid of Kane, because only for the match against Chelsea, I just don't want to take him out. And let me tell you, Magic Ball, show me, what does Harry Kane do against Chelsea? So in 13 games for Harry Kane against Chelsea, he's got 6 goals and 2 assists. Not the best record, guys, but it's not the worst either, right? So it's difficult, and that was the question. I'm pretty confused myself. So if you can shed some light, guys, I would be glad to listen to your opinions. Puda says, "Hey Wiz, hey Puda, welcome, my friend. Best captain choice for this week: Bruno, KDB, or Vardy?" I mean, that's a very difficult one, and I think KDB, Sterling, Bruno Fernandes, Vardy. I think they are fantastic options. I think Bruno, against teams like Southampton, which seem like difficult teams, I think Bruno is a fantastic captain pick because he just does so well against these kinds of teams. Who else is a good captain? I think there's one more captaincy option standout: Salah. Yeah, of course, I've just been talking about him. So Salah is a fantastic captain option as well, Nihal. So, out of all of these, I would like to say, does Salah play at home or away from home? Just let me check. Oh, so it's away from home. So I feel that Vardy is one of the standout options. Along with Vardy, I think on the second, I would place Bruno Fernandes, KDB, and Salah. All three are good options, equally good options. The standout option, in my opinion, would be Jamie Vardy. So yeah, excuse me, let me have a drink of water, please. Carmel says, "Should I transfer Zaha out for Bruno? I'll need to bench a good player, thinking benching Grealish or Ziyech. Probably Ziyech, as he has a tougher fixture." I'm in Carmel. If you're thinking to bench those types of players, you must have a fantastic team. If you want, you can take out Zaha for Bruno Fernandes. The reason is, I think Bruno Fernandes is a really, really good FPL asset in his own right. Be it a difficult fixture or an easy fixture, I think Bruno Fernandes, we can place him in the same category as the reliable FPL asset like Salah, KDB. That's how good he is. So in my opinion, if you want to take out Zaha, at this moment in time, I'd possibly go for Bruno over Son, because Son has a couple of really difficult fixtures. Joe says, "I got 83. Wow, Joe, that's fantastic. Congratulations, my friend." Cole says, "It says on my league's total points 504. Does this include hits that I have taken?" Cole, when your league points are displayed, I think it is your actual points tally, and it subtracts the point that you have taken for the hits. So yeah, so if your points are 504, that means it is your actual score, including the hits. Gavin Stu says, "I hope the smell doesn't continue, as it is rather stinky." Gav, I'm sorry, I don't understand what you mean, but if you can be more clear, I can help you, my friend. Devendra says, "Ruben Diaz to Bellerin." I think, Devendra, I think you should wait, my friend. The reason being, I think Ruben Diaz has a really good fixture. The next 3 fixtures for Ruben Diaz are really good. Actually, let me just go to this page so I can show you the fixtures, right? So let's have a look at Ruben Diaz's fixtures. Look, next he plays Burnley at home, Fulham at home, West Brom at home, Newcastle at home. If I was you, I wouldn't take out Ruben Diaz, my friend. I would keep him. So that's my opinion. Nehal says away. So yeah, Nehal, it doesn't matter. I think Salah last season, he scored 2 goals away to Brighton, and I think Salah would be, really, really sharp, and he would be wanting to make up for the lost time. So in my opinion, Salah, KDB, and Bruno, number 2. Number 1 is Vardy in the standard captain option. That's what I have been able to analyze till now. Guys, do you want me to look into the crystal ball and tell you what's Vardy's record against Fulham? Hang on, crystal ball, show them all. What is Vardy's record against Fulham? I'm not even sure how many games would have Vardy played against Fulham, because Fulham were in the championship for a pretty long time, right? Hang on, guys. My crystal ball is taking some time to load, right? Not load, but sometimes the mist is too much to clear. Doesn't look like the best record for Jamie Vardy against Fulham, because I can't. There you go. Oh, he's just played one game. So Jamie Vardy against Fulham, he's played one game, guys, and he scored 2 goals and 1 assist, and that's fantastic. I mean, that's fantastic. So yeah. Caleb says, I was thinking Salah in for Son, but that doesn't seem too right. The other option was Rodriguez out, but then I won't be able to bring in KDB Sterling later. To be honest with you guys, I would like to tell you that at this point in time, there are so many good premium options that you can't have them all. So that's the reason you need to make a choice, and that's where it gets interesting, because if you want to have Vardy and you want to have Salah and you want to have Bruno, then it makes it very difficult to have somebody like Kane or Son or KDB or Sterling. So you have to make a choice, and that's what makes FPL interesting, my friends. We have too many good premium assets and we can't have them all. So you make your choices and you stick with your choices. Vice says McGinn to Jota and James to I think, I'm not sure what you mean, my friend. She says McGinn to Jota and James to Foden. McGinn to Jota, I wouldn't do it possibly. I think McGinn is a good cheap option. And even Foden, I don't like the look of Foden because I'm not sure how nailed on he is, my friend. So in my opinion, no, Faiza. Maybe only McGinn to Jota if that's possible, that I would think about, but James to Foden, in my opinion, no. Pura says, need to sell Robertson to bring in KDB. Which budget defender you'd recommend for the long term? Pura, if you have any other way to bring in KDB, I would go for that, because in my opinion, I feel Robertson is in a really good form. Why would you transfer out a player who's just scored 12 points, my friend, and he has really good fixtures as well? In my opinion, I wouldn't do it. But if you want to, let me just show you the fixtures. Maybe that can change your mind. Brighton, Wolves, Fulham, Crystal Palace, West Brom, Newcastle, Southampton, Burnley. Come on. I mean, for these games, I would definitely keep Robertson, my friend. Yeah. Devendra says, thanks, Wiz. You're welcome, my friend. Cole says, thoughts on Kane to Vardy and Zaha to Salah for a -4. Yeah, that looks like a good move, Cole. If I was you, I would possibly think about it, but I wouldn't make these moves until Friday. After all the games are over, the Champions League's game, the Champion League games and the Europa League games, so I would wait, but I think that's a good move to make. Abirup says, hi Wiz, hope you're doing well. Hey Abirup, I'm fine, my friend. Welcome. FPL Juggernaut says, hi Wiz. Hey Jug, welcome, my friend. Marius says, Werner to Vardy. That is a very good question, and that is a move that I would possibly look to make. I mean, if I had Werner, I would be tempted to move him on for Vardy. The reason being, I feel that Chelsea's fixtures are more difficult in the next 3 as compared to somebody like Jamie Vardy. So they play Tottenham, difficult, Leeds, Everton away. Yeah, I mean, if I was you, I would possibly look to move on Timo Werner for Jamie Vardy for at least the next 3 game weeks, and then analyze what you want to do, my friend. Rhythm says, what changes to make? Kufal, Dallas, Chilwell, Sterling, Grealish, Jota, Salah, Vardy, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Bamford. No changes to make, my friend. Your team looks so perfect and you have amazing captaincy options. I mean, Sterling, you've got Salah, you've got Vardy. Your team looks set for the upcoming game week, Rhythm. All the best to you. Subro says, is this the right time to bring in Jamie Vardy in place of Kane? I think so, Subro. If you want to bring Jamie Vardy in, although I think somebody like Vardy can be kept throughout the season because he's a goal scorer and he can score against anyone. But the next game he plays against Fulham at home, and then he plays against let me show you. Next game he plays against Sheffield United and then Brighton. I mean, not the easiest of games, looking at how Brighton are playing at the moment. But I mean, Jamie Vardy at home, What's not to like about this move? I think that's a good move, my friend. So yeah. Viren says, when will Salah be back? I think Salah will be back this weekend, Viren. Rahul says, size for Aitnori. Rahul, I don't think you should be bringing in Wolves defenders. The reason for that is I think Wolves have really difficult fixtures. Go for somebody like Chilwell, go for somebody like Zuma, that would be better. Pai says replacement for Mope. Gavin Stu says, please help me, Wiz. I'm finding the smells a bit too much. Gav, I really won't be able to help you if you don't speak clearly, my friend. So yeah. Matt says, would you prioritize getting KDB or Vardy this week? Matt, to be honest with you, the player I would prioritize getting would be somebody who I feel that is the best captaincy option for this game week, and that at the moment seems to be Vardy to me. I feel that Vardy is the best captaincy option because of the teams they are playing against, right? KDB plays against Burnley, and Burnley, although alright, Manchester City at home, they're really good and everything, but Burnley are not the easiest team, and they're not going to concede 4, 5, 6 goals, right? Fulham, on the other hand, they have an atrocious defense and they can concede 3, 4. So on paper, I feel that Vardy is the better option. So possibly I want to go for Vardy. Do I want to sell Kane? Do I want to get rid of Kane? Possibly not. So that's the dilemma. But in my opinion, out of KDB or Vardy, I would possibly look to bring in Vardy. If I could do both, that would be amazing. But if one, then Vardy. Cole says Vardy's fixes are so good, but he just looks awful in open play. What's your opinion on him? Cole, I understand what you mean, but in the end, all we need is FPL points. So I'd say it doesn't matter if it doesn't look good. Vardy can score against anyone, and especially if you want Jamie Vardy to come back into form, who best against somebody like Fulham. So yeah. Bakshat says, hello all. Hey George, welcome my friend. Nihal says, what are your thoughts on waiting on Salah till game week 12? I have a feeling Salah will be back with a bang this week, but I have wildcarded last week and have a long-term plan. Nihal, if you have a long-term plan, you stick with your plan, my friend. As I said, and as I always say, nobody is essential in this game, You can go without absolutely anyone and still be good at this game. So if you have somebody like KDB, if you have Vardy, if you have somebody like if you have somebody like excuse me, Bruno Fernandes, so it isn't the highest priority to get in Salah this week itself. So you just prioritize your long-term plan, and that's exactly what FPL is all about. Zod says, hey Wiz, hey Zod, welcome my friend. If I say Salah is back in training, might be on the bench tomorrow, that's great news, and I'm pretty sure that Salah will be available on the weekend. Buckshot says, who's your captain this week, Wiz? Buckshot, if I bring in Vardy, then it's gonna be Vardy. If not, I mean, for this team, hang on, let me show you my team right now without making any transfers, so that I can just pick a team right now from the players that I have. It doesn't look too good because I've got Ziyech, I've got Chilwell, and I've got Son, and I've got Kane, like 4 players playing against each other, not the best. Walker Peters playing against Manchester United, not the best. Taylor against Manchester City. Guys, this doesn't look too good in it. But I hope by the end of the week it looks good. So if out of this team I had to pick a captain, it would be either Bruno Fernandes or somebody like Calvert-Lewin. But I'd say from this team I would pick Bruno Fernandes. But if I go through with my plan and I move on Trent Alexander-Arnold, or if Klopp says he's fit to play, then I've got at least one defender to play in place of Walker Peters. So that makes it still a decent defender. And maybe if I want to captain Vardy, then I bring in Vardy in place of Kane. But the next week is not looking the best, George. But we have to kind of extrapolate, and I still have to make a transfer, maybe a couple of transfers. That's the reason the move that I made at the last second, last game week, it just wasn't right. I mean, I transferred out Podence for Ziyech for a hit, and it didn't work out, and now Ziyech plays against Tottenham. That's the reason you should not make any panic transfers, guys. That's a good way to kind of learn about it. So yeah, Aman says thoughts on Son to Jota. Aman, if you want to do it, my friend, if you can do it, but to be honest with you, I think Son is doing pretty well. Even if you keep him, it's not bad. Abirup says any information on the double game week and the blank game weeks. I think the double game week and the blank game weeks are coming in around game week 16 to game week 18, and that is precisely what I'm saving my wildcard for. If I didn't want to save my wildcard for the double game week, I would possibly use my wildcard this week, but since I want to save it and I want to take advantage of the double game week, that's the reason I'm hoping that I keep my wildcard. Cole says Gavin's 2 impressions. If you're trying to be funny, just skip the joke. Nihal says, thanks Wiz, I have all of them, Vardy, KDB and Bruno, so waiting on Salah for game week 12 against Fulham. That's amazing. Nihal, your team is good. I've already checked on your team on the Discord. I think your team looks pretty good. So don't worry. If Salah scores 2 goals against Brighton, that's fine. I mean, you have a fantastic team. Even the players that you own can match him, so it's fine. Until and unless you are too hellbent on getting a player, it's fine. I think your team looks good. Suleiman says Kane to Watkins in order to fund James Rodriguez to KDB. I mean, if you want to do it, Suleiman, you can do it. But I mean, owning Kane and James Rodriguez next week is not bad, because James Rodriguez plays against Leeds, who do generally concede some goals, and Kane is Kane and he can score against anyone. So if you feel that you must own KDB and you want to captain him, and you bring him in. Otherwise you can go without as well. Caleb says, is it really worth a -4 hit to bring in Salah and Vardy in place of Son, Rodriguez and Kane? I mean, that totally depends upon who you want to captain, my friend. I mean, Salah and Vardy are obviously great options for the next week, and if you can do it for a -4, then it's fine. But once you take a decision, don't regret it. I mean, James Rodriguez and Son are good players in their own right, and they might score some points as well. Sometimes the fear of missing out is too much for us to kind of hold our transfers. So Caleb, think till Friday, and if you still feel that this is a good option, you go for it. If I was you, I would possibly look to do that, and I feel that they're really good moves, both of them. Puta says, if I am to keep Robertson, I'll have to drop a forward or midfielder. Best bet will be to drop Wilson to Brewster and get in KDB, and then I have exact funds to get in Salah for Bruno in game week 12. My friend, who knows what's going to happen in game week 12? Who knows if Salah's going to already rise in price? Who knows, if you will have the exact funds then. So if you have the exact funds right now, don't make a plan for game week 12. That's a little bit too far-fetched in my opinion. But getting Brewster is not a good idea in my opinion. But until I have a look at your entire team, it will be very hard to say what to do. But if I was you, I would definitely keep Robertson in my team. I think Robertson has great set of fixtures. He's playing really well. I see no reason to transfer him out. He's essentially a winger playing, rated as a defender in FPL, so I wouldn't sell him, my friend. Super says, I have Hakim and Shea in my squad. Who to transfer in place of Shea or Hakim? Hakim to Madison, my choice. What's your opinion? So bro, if you feel that the ceiling of Madison is high, you can get Madison, but I think the best assets from Leicester City are Kestan and Jamie Vardy. I thought initially at this season that Harvey Barnes was a great asset, but he's just not taken his chances. I mean, he's had great chances to score goals, but he's just not clinical enough for me. So in my opinion, James Maddison is a decent player. He's a decent pick, but I feel that his ceiling is not as high as compared to Jamie Vardy. So if you don't have the option to get Jamie Vardy, Maddison can maybe be a decent alternative, but I would try to go for the number one choice from Leicester. That would be Jamie Vardy. FPL Jug says, I've changed my mind about using my wildcard. Maybe I'll bench Barkley and Zaha and bring in Vardy for Werner. Well, that's the spirit, Jug. You keep your wildcard as long as possible. Unless you can fix your team with a couple of transfers, do not waste your wildcard. I think wildcard is a very, very precious resource, and we have to, try to save it as long as possible. It might come in handy later, Chopin says Martinez, Kufal, Chilwell, Justin, Barclay, Son, Salah, Ziyech, Fernandes, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and Kane. Who should I swap out? Barclay. Of course, I think Barclay could be the one you would like to swap out Chopin, because Barclay is having a hamstring issue and not sure if he's going to play or not. So you can go for Barclay to Grealish if you have the funds. If you don't have the funds, you can go for somebody like Barclay to McGinn. You can, I guess Grealish is a good option from the same team. McGinn is also a fairly good option. Somebody else who I would be looking at is Diogo Jota. So you have some options there, my friend. Another transfer would be Kane to somebody like Vardy, but that totally depends on what you feel or who you feel is the best captaincy option this week. Abirup says Robo to Kufal and Son to KDB, or go without Manchester City assets till they start scoring. Abirup, to be honest with you, if you have another route to get KDB, Son to KDB sounds absolutely fine, but taking out Robertson out of the team, it just doesn't seem right to me. Just last week he scored 12 points for your team and you transfer him out. I just don't think that's the right way, because Robertson is in good form. Liverpool have good fixtures. Why should we transfer out Robertson? That's the way I think about the game, right? It might be absolutely contrary to the way you think about the game, but that's my rationale. I feel we should keep Robertson. Whoever owns Robertson should keep him. Ahmed says best option for replacement of Arnold. I'd say Chilwell, Reece James. I think he's nailed now. Cresswell, Bellerin, Robertson, obviously, if you want a like-for-like replacement. Joao Cancelo. These would be my picks, Ahmed. Nick says, you thinking of getting Manchester City players? Nick, to be honest with you, I want to get them, but it's not a priority for me, at least not in game week 10. The reason being, I think Manchester City play against Burnley, and on top of that they have this midweek fixture, and Pep is not like Jurgen Klopp. He's not going to pick the same team again and again and again. He likes to rotate and he likes to rest his players. So I just feel that if City score 3 against Burnley, and if for example KDB scores 1 goal, provides an assist, I think he can be covered by Bruno Fernandes. So at this moment in time, I would love to have KDB in my team, don't get me wrong, but I don't see any options without taking a -8 how I can get somebody like KDB and Jamie Vardy into my team. And I'm currently focusing this season, guys. My strategy is to nail my captain picks. On this, I would like to show you my captain stats for the season, so that I can actually prove you the way I'm playing the game this season. But before that, let me read Todd's comment. Todd says, Abhirup, I'm inclined to wait until Manchester City show better form before getting them in. Hey Todd, I would like to thank you for your comment. Todd gave me a brilliant feedback regarding my last stream, and I accept his point. I'm a wizard, and I shouldn't be panicking and making last-minute transfers, but sometimes it happens, and I gave you a long explanation about that, Todd, but thank you so much for your feedback, and I really appreciate you coming here and enjoying the stream, my friend. Rohit says, hey Wiz, just got here, great to catch a live stream. That's awesome, Rohit. Welcome, my friend. I hope you had a great week. Chopanen says, what is your plan this round, and when will you reveal your team? The team reveal always happens in the same deadline stream, my friend. I always stream 1 hour before the deadline, so that is when my final team is revealed. My transfer plan will be revealed in a video that I will release. I will tell you what is my transfer plan. Mostly I'm thinking about Kane to Vardy, but nothing is nailed on yet because I want to watch Leicester in the Europa League. I don't want Jamie Vardy to get injured, or maybe Kane, in the Europa League as well. So I just want to watch all the games and then make a decision. But in my mind, I know that I want to captain Vardy against Fulham next week, so that's what I would be going for. So yeah. Nick says, are you not thinking of getting rid of Trent for 2 more weeks? Nick, to be honest with you, if Klopp says that if Trent is not going to play, then possibly I might move on Trent. But this season, as I told you, I'm not focusing on my team value. Even if Trent goes to 7.2 million, I'm just not too worried about that. I'm just looking to nail my captain picks. On this point, guys, let me show you what I wanted to show you today. This is my captaincy record till now, right? This season, my strategy is to just nail my captain picks. Although, if you look at this, it's not the best return. I mean, 14, 10, 10, and there's a couple of 10s in there. There's a 12, but at least, guys, I've managed to avoid the blanks by picking the safest captaincy picks for this season, and it's my strategy. What I've managed to learn from FPL all these years playing FPL. If you get a good captain return, your game week will never be a disaster. And the way to propel you up the ranks is by having or by nailing your captain picks. So what I am planning this season, or how I'm planning this season generally, I might make some little bit changes here and there, but how I'm planning this season is I look to the game weeks ahead and I see which player I want to captain in that particular game week based on the form, based on the fixture, and then even if I have to take a hit to bring that player in, I do it and I make him captain because I want to nail my captain picks. And I had decided at the start of the season, even if I have to take a hit to bring that player in, I would do it. So that's how I'm playing this game. And this season, I had this strategy in mind, and I thought I would go through with it, no matter what happens. Let's see, let's nail our captain picks. Let's try and get like 500 points from our captaincy. And if we manage to do that, we'd automatically get close to the 10k rank that we are looking for, right? So that's my strategy, guys. And by the way, for any of you asking where I found this, I'm writing the name of the website in the chat box, so you can go and use their free tools. It's a fantastic website, guys. They're not sponsoring me or anything like that, but it helps me, so it might help you too. The name of the website is Premier Fantasy Tools, and that's the website. You can go check your captain scores and possibly get some insight about your own team, how you're doing, how you're not doing. It's gonna help you. So that's my strategy. Smelly Web says, I remember the discussion about this strategy at the beginning of the season. Web, I'm still sticking with the same strategy, and and I hope I can go through with it the entire season, and hope that some people find some insight and learn from the way I've been trying to do things this season. As I play more FPL, guys, I become more patient. Sometimes when I started playing this game, I was like this angry young man, trigger happy all the time, hits here, hits there, everywhere. Just doesn't work well that way. So as I'm becoming more experienced in FPL, I really, for example, guys, actually I was fortunate enough to have Kane and Son in my team against Manchester City because I still wanted to sell them, but Salah got COVID and I had to bring Bruno Fernandes for Salah, and I managed to keep Son. Otherwise, I would have kept Salah on the bench and I would have sold Son for Bruno Fernandes. Although that would have been good for game week 10, but in game week 9 I would have missed 10 points from Son. So sometimes, I like to tell you one more thing actually, which I realized. When we look at the fixtures, we see Tottenham playing Chelsea, we see Tottenham playing Manchester City. We immediately think, oh, we need to take this player out. He has a difficult fixture. But what we don't consider at the back of our minds, that there is a chance that that player can score points against even a tough opposition. And that's a very, very big mental block for all FPL managers. It is for me as well, guys. I mean, I was looking to transfer out Son against Manchester City, I'm not gonna lie, but if we can get rid of this mental block that big players against big teams, they can perform, they can get some points, and it makes a world of difference. That's how the better FPL managers think. Sometimes we just chase the fixtures too much without bothering about the form, and it just is detrimental for our team. Anyways, a lot of talking about the strategy. Let's get back to your questions. Guys, if you're enjoying the stream and if you haven't subscribed yet, please hit subscribe. And if you like the stream, please hit like. I would really appreciate that. Charlie McLeod says, "What are your transfer plans?" Charlie, the plan is to kind of bring Jamie Vardy in place of Kane, but I'm not gonna make that transfer or not gonna finalize it until I watch all the Champions League and Europa League games and everybody comes out unscathed. Until then, I'm just gonna hold my transfer. James says, "I've just wildcarded last week and had money. One transfer, so should I swap for Salah?" James, to be honest with you, if you like having Salah in your team and if you prefer Salah over Mane, then I think it would be better, just not for your team, also for your peace of mind, to go for Salah, because I am exactly the same type of person as you are. If I have Mane in my team, I always would like to go for Salah, and if I have Salah in my team, I never want to go for Mane even if he scores 2 goals. I still like having Salah in my team. It's just the way I play this game. So for your peace of mind, if it is important, I'd say do it. You know, sometimes you have to use these kind of rationales in FPL. Nick says, "Do you think you'll ever get rid of Calvert-Lewin?" I see no reason at all to get rid of Calvert-Lewin, my friend. To be honest, I think Calvert-Lewin is a contender for the Golden Boot this season. You might think I'm being funny, but I'm not. I honestly feel that Calvert-Lewin is massively, a contender for the Golden Boot. The reason why I say this, he's surrounded by top players like Luka Dean, James Rodriguez, Richarlison, all looking to give assists to Calvert-Lewin. And at the back of his mind, he's going to be thinking about the Golden Boot. I'm telling you now, he is in great form. And when somebody is in such a great form, you don't transfer him out. Not against the toughest opposition. I mean, he scored a goal against Liverpool, and with all the defenders fit. I mean, alright, Van Dijk got injured mid-game, but still, I feel that Calvert-Lewin is a long-term option for me. Sharpenan says, "Who your captain choice for this round?" Sharpenan, I'm thinking about Vardy, Bruno Fernandes, and also thinking about Salah at the back of my mind, but I don't have any way to get Salah and Vardy both, so one of them would be my captain. Still not decided yet. Todd says, "At the rate, James, I would wait until you are sure Salah will play before swapping out Mane." That's absolutely true. I agree with Todd. I'd tell everybody, guys, this is for everybody, do not make any transfers until Friday. One, there are a lot of games going on. There might be injuries, there might be COVID related suspensions or isolations. So hold your transfers and make the transfer on Friday after the press conferences, after you have all the information. Even if you miss a price rise, a 0.1 million is not that important, guys. Having a team of 11 good players is more important. This season, I'm focusing 10% on my team value and 19% and 90% on the team that I want to have. So my team is valued at around 101.4 million, and I'm very happy with that. I don't want a team with 105 million and have a bad rank. I'd rather have a bad team value and a good rank. So that's what we play FPL for, right? Nick says KDB, Calvert-Lewin or Bruno for captain. Out of these, I'd say KDB or Bruno for me, my friend. DCL may get penalties late in the year if he's chasing a golden boot. That's a valid point, my friend. I'm not even sure who's taking penalties for Everton. I mean, they got one penalty in the Premier League and that was taken by Richarlison, but I am not sure if he's the designated penalty taker for Everton. So it's all up in the air and he might even be on penalties. Who knows? In my opinion, it should be James Rodriguez, but let's wait and watch. Let's see what's going on in the Champions League. Somebody said Ren had equalized. Yeah, Ren did equalize, but then Olivier Giroud comes in and scores again. So yeah, Chelsea's leading by 2-1. And by the way, guys, Kai Havertz was substituted in. That means Kai Havertz is fit again. That might be a bad news for somebody who owns Mason Mount, because I think that is the player who Kai Havertz is going to replace. I don't think he's going to replace Ziyech. So yeah, Kai Havertz is fit. Hakim Ziyech got 15 minutes as well. Tammy Abraham got swapped at 69 minutes. So yeah, that's the update for the Champions League game. Anyways, back to the questions. FPL Jug says if Salah plays against Atlanta tomorrow, he'll be certainty for Brighton. That's true. Even if he's on the bench for tomorrow, he'll still be a certainty for Brighton, right? So yeah. Harry says Kane and Zaha out for Bamford and Salah for a -4 hit. Harry, that seems to be a very decent move, but do you want to captain Salah against Brighton? And if you want to do it, and I would not be averse to that move at all. I think that's a very good move to make. But provided you should think about captaining Salah, I think that would be a decent move, my friend. Guys, hang on. Let me take a drink of water real quick and I'll be back. Alright. So, Nick says I want to get Jota, but he's not nailed on. Seems too risky. I think he played really well against Leicester. It would be really difficult for Klopp to drop him now. I don't feel he's too risky. Even if he doesn't start the game, he's still worth owning the way he plays, and he can come on for 30 minutes, half time, he still can get decent points. I think Jota is a very good option in FPL now. Kareem says, what do you think of double City defense for the upcoming fixtures? Kareem, that is an interesting question. I just never considered that. The thing is, there are no two City defenders that I would love to own. You know, the reason being, I think Joao Cancelo is the one standout option because of his attacking prowess this season. But in my opinion, if you think about it, who else would you want to own? Laporte, Ruben Dias, Kyle Walker? They just don't pose that much of an attacking threat. And when you own 6 million plus defenders, not Ruben Dias but Laporte and Walker, you want them to have some kind of an attacking threat. So in my opinion, at this moment in time, I'd get one defender and watch their game against Burnley. If you feel they played well, then you get one more defender. But not from the outset, I'd say. Caleb says Ren defense is so poor, I'm crying. Props to Giroud though. Giroud always scores. He's just unlucky that, you know, he plays for teams who have better strikers, but he's a fantastic player. He was fantastic for us and he's fantastic for Chelsea as well. Anas says, who should I transfer out, Zaha or James Rodriguez if I want to bring in Salah? Anas, if I was you, I would possibly get rid of Zaha and bring in Salah, because he was isolating and, you know, he's still up in the air if he's gonna play or not. And in my opinion, James Rodriguez has next two fixtures which are really good against Leeds and West Brom. So I'd possibly move on Zaha and get Salah, my friend. So yeah. Aman says both Havertz and Mount start together. Aman, I don't think so. The thing is, if Pulisic comes back and Havertz plays, Ziyech plays, Werner, you know, Tammy Abraham possibly goes out, I think Kante is also gonna start. So might be rotation with Mount, in my opinion. Nick says, has Salah been cleared of the virus? Nick, yes, I think he's negative for coronavirus. The only thing is now how long the protocol says he's not allowed to play, but the virus has been cleared. So yeah. Aman says Kai, Mount and Kante is the preferred midfield trio. Let's see. I hope so. I hope so for the owners of Mason Mount, my friend. Nick says Ruben Dias is very cheap and scores the odd goal, plus City looking to get lots of clean sheets in a row. Yeah, if you want, you can get only Ruben Dias. That's fine. I mean, I think, in my opinion, one City defender is fine for now. If you feel they are going on this clean sheet streak and if the defenders are getting more involved in attack, you can possibly double up. But for starters, I'd say one City defender should be enough. Caleb says he tested negative yesterday. That's true. Anas says thanks, man. I appreciate it. You're welcome, Anas. Nick says thanks. You're welcome. Harry says, are you going to keep Trent in your squad? Harry, I would like to move him on, but the problem is, again, as I discussed, you know, I have some other problems in my team sometimes and I want to address them, and that's the reason Trent is still in my team. If my team was fine, for example, last game week, I would have transferred out Trent, but unfortunately Salah tested positive for COVID and I had to move out Salah, and that's the reason I had to keep Trent. So sometimes it's the circumstances. If I was on a wild card, he would definitely go out of my team, and maybe this week, maybe this is the week I take out Trent Alexander-Arnold, and we'll have more updates from Klopp during his Champions League press conference and before the press conference before the game against Brighton. So let's see if Trent is still not fit and Klopp says he's not going to be fit for 2 more weeks, then possibly this is the game week that he goes out of my team. But it's all up in the air, my friend. I'm not open to I'm open to keeping Trent, taking a 0.1 million hit as well. So it's all possible at this moment in time. Let's have a look at which players are going to rise and which players are going to fall tomorrow. So, oops, I need to refresh this page, unfortunately. So guys, this website which you're seeing on this screen, it's called fplstatistics.co.uk, and this is a website that almost every one of us uses to see which players are going to rise and fall. So it looks like Calvert-Lewin is on the rise again. Guys, it's fantastic, right? I mean, just 9 game weeks in the season and he's already risen 0.8 million, and he is primed for a rise tomorrow as well. Cresswell also, I think he would make it. Jota, pretty close. Hillman, I think all of these players were in the 90s. They can, there's still how many hours to go? I think still 7 or 8 hours to go till the price rises happen. So in my opinion, Cresswell, Jota, Kilman, all these players can rise by tomorrow. Let's see who's going to fall. Stevens, nobody owns Stevens, so we're not concerned. Nathan Ake, possibly nobody owns him still. Saka, Doherty, Henderson, Burns, Stevens, David Luiz, Noble. Let's see. Where's Alexander-Arnold? Hang on, let me type his name rather than... Yeah, 45, so Trent is not gonna fall, so I'm not too bothered about Trent for tomorrow. Let's see. Who else is important that we want to check? Tangang, Alamina, Musa, White, Peters. Peters? Smallbone, McCarthy, or Crystal Palace. Reed, Tarkowski, nobody. No one that we are really concerned with. Tierney, maybe somebody has Tierney. Ryan from Brighton, primed to fall soon. Goodmanson, Fernandez from Newcastle, Perez. None of the important players, it seems, are close, but there's so many players in the 90s, so could be. Socrates, I don't know. Nobody. I'm not sure if, and none of the important players are going to fall, but the rises are going to happen. So if you're going to be priced out of these players, you want to bring him in. For me, if you have the money, I would possibly keep them. Zaha. So all of you are asking about Zaha. Let's see. 70%, guys. So I think Zaha should be fine today. This site is not 100% accurate, but it's pretty close. So according to this website, it says Zaha is minus 70.6. So could happen tonight or maybe tomorrow. Depends on what happens. Yeah. Chopin says, is Bellerin somebody to watch out for? I'd say yes, I am. I've been saying this on the stream for a pretty long time, Chopin. I think Arsenal are not the attacking fluid team that it used to be. We are a much more practical team and we like to defend, and we are defending deep. So I think Bellerin is a very good asset. Alrighty, so Caleb says Zaha. Alrighty. Says, Harry, you were a wizard. And he says, is Joelinton essential? Caleb, I'm not sure if you're joking or if you're serious, my friend. Harry says, what is your opinion on taking hits? Harry, I'm not averse to taking hits. For example, I've seen some managers saying that you should never take hits, or they're very, very strict against, like they make a policy that they do not want to take hits at all. I'm not that kind of a manager. I'd say that if you want to take a hit, if you feel that you can pay off the hit in the next 3-4 game weeks or next couple of game weeks, I'm not averse to taking hits. But that this season what I decided is, if I take a hit, it should be for a player that I was going to captain. For example, this season I've taken 3 hits, right? One hit I took for Harry Kane when I was going to captain him, and he got me 32 points. Second hit I took for, I can't exactly remember, but the third hit I took was for Bruno Fernandes last week, and he got me 22 points. So for me this season the hits are about captaincy more than about having a great team, but each to his own. I just say that don't just take hits for the sake of it. If you really feel that your team is going to be good for long term and you want to target a specific fixture, you can do it. But I'd say if you take maybe less than 10 hits a season, I think you should be fine, my friend. Caleb says best front line: Joelinton, Welbeck, McGoldrick. That's fantastic, my friend. And to be honest with you, Welbeck did score a fantastic goal, and he could have scored another one, so don't make fun of Welbeck. McGoldrick scored a fantastic goal the other week as well. Who knows? Joelinton was about to chip the keeper from halfway line. You know, never know, my friend. Jovan says, what do you think about Zaha to Jota and Son to KDB for a -8? That's a difficult one for a -8, my friend. I'd say that looks like a decent move, but the problem would be it's the -8 is the problem for me, but these moves look solid, and if you want to captain KDB, I'd say possibly yes, my friend. But you have to make your own decision. But if I was you, I would possibly be tempted. If you can do just Son to KDB, that would also be fine, because I think Zaha might be back next week as well. So Jovan says, I saw some bad news that KDB is not in the lineup for the game tomorrow. That's good news. If KDB is not in the lineup tomorrow, unless it's some COVID situation or some injury situation, that means he's nailed on to start for the weekend, and that would be just good. So Nick says, Wiz my dude, love the stream, sir. Thank you so much, Nick. I appreciate it, my friend. Nick says, Wilson or Bamford for this week? To be honest with you, long term I'd say just get Bamford. He is number 1 for like shots in the box, like XG and all these stats, the stats that matter. Shots on target, shots on goal, XG. He's number 1 for everything. So I think he's primed for a haul sooner rather than later. So I'd say Bamford is the better option long term as well. Pura says, Wiz, so to keep Robertson. What if I dropped Ziyech to Jota? Makes more than enough funds for Salah, or is having 3 Liverpool players not the move? I mean, you can have 3 Liverpool players, my friend. I mean, they're looking really good, and it's not bad, because the thing is, you can move on Ziyech if you want to, but it's just that we got Ziyech in a couple of weeks back or 1 week back. It just makes it hard for us to move him on. But I wouldn't be against that move at all, my friend. I think that's a good move. But you have to. If you can tell me your entire team, then I would be better placed to tell you. A Roselle says, what should I do? Kane and Zaha out for Salah and Vardy, and when should I do it? To be honest with you, Roselle, I think that's a very good move. I like both those transfers. I think Salah and Vardy are primed for great returns. If I was you, I would make these moves on Friday evening, or possibly, I think Friday evening before the deadline. That is when I would make those moves. By then, Tottenham would have played their Europa League game, Leicester as well, and all the Champions League games would be over as well. So we would know about Salah. And that's how I would possibly make those moves Friday evening, Roselle. But they're really good moves. If I was you, I would do it. FPL Jug says Discord. So guys, I'd like to just say that we have a Discord server. It's free to join for everyone, and there's a very nice, pleasant community there, around 120 people. So if you want, the link is in the description. You're most welcome to join our Discord, my friends. Chopanen says, when are you going to use your wildcard, and have you any plans to bring in Bellerin? Chopanen, I'd possibly use my wildcard in game week 15 or 16, depending upon the blank and double game weeks. And yes, I would love to bring in Bellerin, but I just don't see how I can do it, because every week since I'm targeting the captains, I have some other priorities. But if I have a free transfer in the next couple of game weeks, I'd say Bellerin would be a good choice for my team as well. Ionis says, do I take a hit to bring in Salah or Vardy? I already have Jota. I mean, if you want to take a hit, my friend, make sure you take a hit for the player that you are going to captain. And that would be my advice to you. Soman says, Martinez, Justin, Conce, Chilwell, KDB, Salah, Grealish, Son, Mope, Vardy, Calvert-Lewin. Rate my team. I'd say that's a brilliant team, my friend. And I mean, I like Martinez, I like Justin is fine, really great fixtures, Konsa good, Chilwell, KDB, Salah, Grealish, Son. I mean, you should be really happy with your team. Really happy. If I had your team, I'd be really, really happy. I mean, I'd say 9 on 10, possibly. Yeah, for the next game week, I'd say 9 on 10. Great team, my friend. Yash says, got 58 points, but wrong Captain Rashford. Unfortunately, my friend, but 58 points this game week is still good. And after a Captain Blank, that must feel still, sweet. With 58 points after a Captain Blank. Jovan says, yes, I'll probably take a -4 for KDB. I transferred Kane out for Vardy, and I'm thinking about captaining Vardy instead of KDB. The Jota move would be because of the price rise of Jota and the Zaha drop. To be honest with you, Jovan, I understand what you mean, but I think this season is a different one as compared to the rest of the FPL seasons. This season we should be focusing more on the news and the last minute transfers. Unless you are about to be priced out of a move, do not take a hit just to avoid the 0.1, Do not hurry up your transfers to avoid a 0.1 rise or a 0.1 fall. This season it's not that important, I'd say. The reason is we've got cheap strikers. You can even have 3 budget strikers and go through the entire season without a problem. So this season is fine. So let's focus on the news and not too much on the team value this season. That's my opinion. But each to his own, guys. Yash says, should have gone for DCL. He was my vice captain. Unfortunately, my friend, sometimes these things happen and it's, very hard to predict. I wish, guys, I wish I was a real wizard and, I could look into my magic ball and I could tell you this is the guy who's gonna bang. I would have the best FPL channel then, innit? Anyways, moving on. Jovan says, thanks for the help, man. You're welcome, my friend. Nehal says, what are your thoughts on doubling up on the Chelsea defense? Nehal, I think Chelsea fixtures are a little bit tough in the sense that it would be very hard for me to kind of recommend doubling up. For example, Tottenham, I expect Tottenham to score. Leeds, I expect Leeds to score. Everton away. Wolves away as well. So Arsenal away. I don't think, in my opinion, I wouldn't double up on their defense. If you want, you can, but if I was to do it, I possibly wouldn't. FPL Penguin, welcome to the live stream, my friend. Says, hi mate, I've brought in KDB, Richarlison and Vardy for game week 10. Heard KDB is in the Manchester City squad for tomorrow's game, but heard he's being rested along with Walker. That's brilliant, my friend. I like all these moves. Richarlison, Vardy and KDB for game week 10 are really good options. So shout out to FPL Penguin, guys. He owns a YouTube channel. He's a fellow content creator. So if you have time, do check him out. And moving on. Yash says, Ziyech, Rashford, Foden, Salah, Saint Maxima, my midfield. I mean, if I was you, my friend, I'd possibly look to move on Foden and Saint Maxima. So, I don't think they are the best options at this moment in time. So Foden, maybe I'd keep him for one more game. We can see how it goes. But Saint Maxima, possibly move on. Yash says, my strikers, Watkin, DCL and Kane. I'm pretty happy with that, my friend. So Saleh says, bad captain choice, man. Mostly for me, else my team would be great. Saleh, sometimes it happens. But it used to happen to me as well. So what I'm doing this season is I'm focusing on nailing my captain picks. And how do I do that? I pick the most obvious captain choice, which I think is going to do well. It's worked well so far, I'm not going for differentials. I'm not trying to be a maverick. I'm not trying to kind of, pick somebody crazy every week. I'm just trying to go for the safe picks and just nail my captaincy. And sometimes, guys, that is the best option, right? Over the long term, if your captaincy gives you 500 points, it's fantastic. Absolutely. 450 to 500 points, I think that's amazing, right? Puta has told me his team. I'll have a look, my friend, and let me read the rest of the comments. Harry says, "This is a fantastic stream. Could you rate my team?" Thank you so much, Harry, for your kind words. Definitely gonna rate your team. Martinez, Kufal, Chilwell, Kinsella. That's fine. I like the defense. Salah, KDB, Grealish, Son. Nothing not to like there. Bamford, Mope, DCL. To be honest with you, my perfect team would be maybe somebody like Watkins in place of Mope, and somebody like Bruno in place of Son. That would be the ideal team. But for your team, I'd say it's 8.5 out of 10 for the next game week, my friend. I like the team. If I had that team, I'd be happy with it. Pretty good. Someone says, "Thanks for your help, man. Love your content. How do I join your Discord?" The link is in the description, Soman. Just click on the link and you'll be in. Welcome. I'd love to have you there. Dakla says, "Hi Wiz, who are you looking to captain next week?" Dakla, possibly. If I bring in Vardy, then Vardy is going to be my captain. If I don't, unfortunately for some unforeseen circumstances, then possibly Bruno Fernandes. From my current team, Bruno. If I bring in Vardy, then Vardy. And if I bring in Salah or KDB, then that's going to be it. Who I think is the best option? I'd say Vardy number 1. And on number 2, I've got 3 players. I've got Bruno, I've got KDB and Sterling, any of the two, and I've got who else was it? Dang. Bruno, KDB, and let me check. What happened here? So the number 1 I said was Vardy, number 2 was Bruno Fernandes, KDB, of course, and that was Salah. So I'm sorry, I think I've been streaming for a long time. I think it skipped my mind, my friend. Salah says Jota and Ferran Torres look great. What do you think? I think Jota and Ferran Torres do look great, but I think Jota is much more nailed than Ferran Torres at the moment. So if I was looking to bring one of them in, I'd say it would be Jota. Yash says, "Thoughts on Arsenal Leeds game, Viz?" To be honest with you, it was a very hard game for me to watch as an Arsenal fan. Pepe was a fool to do what he did there. I'm just not happy with what he did, and Arteta wasn't happy with him either. And I was so happy that we managed to keep a clean sheet. So Bruno Fernandes, guys, our captain pick, number 2 captain pick for the next game week, has already scored a goal against what's the team? Başakşehir. So yeah, he's already scored a goal at 7 minutes, guys. Bruno all the way. Alrighty. Ahmed says, "Love your content, man." Thank you so much, Ahmed. I appreciate it, bro. Which of the following do you think is a priority? Salah for Son or Jota for Zaha? To be honest with you, in my opinion, I'd say Salah, my friend. Although Jota and Salah cannot be compared because their price is so different, but I'd say Salah is really desirable. Looking at the fixtures of Liverpool, if Salah is fit, I think he's a very, very good asset to own. Dakla says, "I brought him in for my UCL fantasy." That's great, Dakla. Great start for you. Unfortunately, I didn't have him. I brought in Timo Werner, who has blanked. Wow, what luck. Anyways, Puta says, "What does the crystal ball say anything about Wilson starting this week?" Crystal ball is confused because last week as well, the manager of Callum Wilson said that he has a chance to start, and then he ended up not starting him. So the crystal ball algorithm has failed. In my opinion, I think Wilson should be fine, my friend. I think Wilson should be alright. So because if the manager said last week that Wilson has a chance, of course that makes him I think a good chance to start for Wilson in game week 10. So, yeah. Oh, I see Gavin Stu is back with his usual comments. Alright. Yes says, "Any good replacement for Saint Maxima?" Tempted to say McGinn, my friend, but I'd say if you want, you can go for somebody like Sochek, and in my opinion, I think he's a very, very good option. Looking at the fixtures, And looking at the way he plays, I'd say go for somebody like Sochek. I really like the look of him. I wish I had him in my team as well. Yash says UCL fantasy is kind of weird, very far away from FPL. To be honest with you, sometimes I used to enjoy the difference of UCL fantasy. This season, I just couldn't be bothered. I just opened my team last second and I just make the changes. I'm just trying to just take it easy too much. Last season, I finished. I think what was my rank, around 3,000 or something like that, maybe 5,000 in UCL fantasy, and I finished I think number 7 in the world for Europa League fantasy. So last season UCL was amazing for me. The Europa League even better. I was number 7 in the world for Europa League fantasy. So but this season I'm just trying to take it easy. It's too much stress just fretting over who scored the goal and who didn't. So I'm just trying to take it easy this season. But for all of you who play, it's good. Do enjoy your as long as it doesn't give you stress, it's all good. It's all good, my friends. So that's I guess I've answered all the questions, guys, since I don't have any more questions in the chat. And there might be one more video coming in the week, and in that video I would possibly discuss my strategy, although I've already talked at length about my strategy here, about which players I want to bring in. It might be Vardy, it might be Salah, let's see, but in my opinion I would bring in the player that I would love to captain. So to be honest with you guys, I would include a wildcard squad for anybody who's wildcarding. So I try to get one video in during the week, and then of course there's gonna be the usual deadline stream, and then we're gonna talk about my team and your teams then as well. So be sure to join the deadline streams. Jovan says, I think DCL to Bamford game week 11 is a great move. Jovan, to be honest with you, what I've learned in FPL, never transfer out a player who's giving you points. Even if he has the toughest of fixtures, keep him until he blanks for consecutive 2 game weeks and then make up your mind. Never ever transfer out a player who's in good form. If Everton play against Manchester City, for example, my friend, somebody has to score a goal there as well, right? So it could be DCL. So never transfer an in-form player. That's just the way I play this game. Todd says, do you accept super chats? Unfortunately, Todd, the channel is relatively new and it's not yet monetized. Soon, my friend. Hopefully. I'd love to make FPL and football in general my full-time work, and it would be so awesome, right? Streaming every night and talking FPL. But till then, I just have to do my day job and stuff. Puta says, taking out Zaha, I guess for Jota this game week to keep Robertson. Would owning 3 Liverpool players kill me in the double game weeks? Puta, it doesn't matter, my friend. You can just take a hit and you can bring one of the City players for the double game week or one of the United players. Do not plan that ahead. For planning for game week 16 or 17 should start in game week 13 or game week 14. So it's fine, my friend. Do not do it. Do not do it too early, my friend. Shopnan says, gotta go and continue with work. Thanks for a good live stream. See you soon. See you, Shopnan. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it, my friend. Linear says, I'm triple captaining Vardy versus Fulham, and my midfield is Salah, Fernandes, Grealish, Son, and I also am ready. Linear, that's, if you want to go for Vardy, that's a pretty good time to triple captain. To be honest, if I was you, I always use my triple captainship in a double game week, but everybody to his own, and I think Vardy is a decent option, my friend. Since I'm thinking about captaining him, of course I think he's going to score. So if you want to go for the triple captain, good luck to you. I think that's a good move. Jovan says, true, good luck with the channel. Have a nice rest of the day. Thanks, Jovan. It's actually the middle of the night where I'm at. It's around 2 a.m. and but thank you so much. I wish you have a great day, my friend. Caleb says, FPL Jug to our early stream. No more early streams, guys. It just messes up with my head. I'm not gonna make that mistake again. Yash says, Wiz, are you a college student? No, Yash, I am actually working, my friend. I've already finished my college. Puta says, for the long term, Wilson, Adams, or Bamford? Puta, I'd say Bamford, my friend. I think Bamford is amazing. He's number 1 in the Premier League for XG, shots on target, shots in the box, shots on goal. It's just insane the amount of chances Leeds create for Bamford. So I'd say 100% go for Patrick Bamford. In my opinion, Adams is doing well, Wilson is possibly going to do well, but if I had to pick one now on my wildcard, I'd say Bamford. So guys, I hope that answers all your questions. I'll be back with you on the deadline stream on Friday. Remember, the deadline is on Friday, so Friday night I'm going to be with you. I'm going to talk to you about FPL. This time it's going to be on time. Dakla says, Wiz, the title should be Game Week 9 Aftermath. By the way, thought I'd let you know. Oh my days. No, it's fine, Dakla. I put Game Week 10 in order to kind of, let people know that I'm going to be talking about Game Week 9 and Game Week 10 as well. Sometimes people, they don't join the stream because they think that I'm only going to be talking about Game Week 9 and they're more interested in Game Week 10. But yeah, I'm gonna make some changes as well to the names and hopefully upgrade the channel a bit. All right, guys. So I hope I answered your questions. I'll be with you here for the deadline stream. I hope till then you take care of yourselves, stay safe, do not make any transfers. Wait till Friday to make your transfers, and I will be with you here. Till then, take care. And thank you so much for being on the live stream. FPL Wizard signing out. Enjoy the song that I have for you.